Takes us live. Oh, it did take us live.
Yes. Let me see if I can see it. Yep.
Can you?
Yep. Looks live to me.
Beautiful. Beautiful. All right, I just got to find the link then. And then we'll let people filter on in. How do I get the link? One of you guys, Don, can you grab it?
I got it.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
It's professional streamers here, guys.
Professional streamers, Monday morning,
streamers.
market's tanking. You know, we're here. That's what matters.
Yep. Completely lost without Ledger, but we'll make it.
What? We're not lost. We don't need that moon boy.
Dude, these are
We don't need that moon boy. I gotta make sure I tag the correct venture coinist. Okay.
Yeah, don't hit the fake me. Honestly, the fake me would probably retweet it. So don't.
Oh,
worry.
they would, as they typically do.
Yeah, I've been retweeted by my own like fake profiles
Oh, yeah.
nowadays, which is so weird. Like
I
look at the retweets and it's like DonAlt retweeted and I'm like, what?
That's got to be like half my retweets. It's just fake me's.
Yeah, but usually they have reblocked before, but nowadays they don't anymore. I think Twitter's changed something where it's like they can't or like get detected easier if they kind of do it, like if they have you blocked and then retweet stuff. I don't know, but they don't block me anymore.
Maybe they're just fan accounts. You know, I don't know. You tweet it out so I can retweet it. Get some people in here.
Oh yeah, it's already out.
Oh, it's tweeted. Beautiful.
Yep.
Ledger retweeted it.
Sick.
Thanks, Ledger. Once some people get in here, we'll fire this thing up. I don't know what you guys did to Bitcoin, man. This is brutal to come back to. I mean, I guess there's good trade opportunities now, but like, what the hell?
It wasn't the pullback that was the issue. It was the swiftness. You know, you couldn't really get in a position. It was like you either sell everything on Elon tweeting and forget about everything you've ever learned about markets, or you just sit here and watch it bleed, you know?
Yep. The biggest alpha in the market has been just watching Elon tweet. Like the faster you are, the more money you make, basically, which is so sad to see.
It's like we went from Donald Trump tweet watching to Elon.
Yeah. Not sure which one I preferred.
Trump was a little more random. I think Elon's kind of showed his hand. All right.
Yeah.
Looks like we got a little squad in here. We'll fire this up. Everyone, thanks for tuning in to the Weekly Open. We stream this every single Monday, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, looking at what's going to happen in the market. Give our takes, our trades, and we'll obviously watch Bitcoin dump. I guess that's what we're doing this week. This is also sponsored by Blockfolio. If you haven't checked them out, go do it. You're probably familiar with them. They let you look at all your coins. So as your portfolio has been going up and now it's going down, you can obviously check that. You can also trade right from the app. So if you want to move to Tether, or if you want to get back into Bitcoin, you think the dump's over, Blockfolio has you covered. Go check them out. Download it in the App Store. It works on your iPhone or Android. I think it works on your Android. I don't know. I don't have an Android, but it should.
Yes, it does.
It works in your Android too. Look at that. So check out Blockfolio. It's where you can place your trades. And let's get into things, guys. Don, what the hell happened, man? What did I miss?
Yeah, I mean, Elon just went on a crusade, but I think honestly, like he's gonna be the scapegoat for this because it looked really shitty before, in my opinion, already.
Yep.
Or at least not like super shitty, but it looked heavy. And we have been talking about this a bunch, where it's like whenever you have altcoins go this crazy and Bitcoin cannot pull up with it, it's usually a sign that there's a massive weakness on the Bitcoin side of things. And that played out, and then Elon just added on top. So that led to the down candle, like his first tweet basically, and then like he's been adding on ever since. And honestly, like when I heard that he hadn't sold, because I was kind of assuming that he might have had, it has me actually more concerned because that selling pressure is still there if he goes completely crazy, which I wouldn't be surprised about, because who the fuck knows what that guy's gonna do, in my opinion anyway.
Yeah, he's a total loose cannon. It's like there's a madman in the town square with a machete just swinging at everything. it doesn't help that he's being antagonized by basically everybody on Twitter. You know, the biggest thing we could do is just ignore him. Honestly, like all he wants is engagement from people. But this is it's a great example of why whales are just bad in general, because especially an influencer whale who has the ability, sadly, to move markets. Just look what he does with Doge as well.
It's like his stack is almost leveraged by that. Like it'd be one thing if he had $1 billion of Bitcoin. It's another that he has $1 billion of Bitcoin and this much sway. Like his stack means that much more. So what else did he do? Because I watched this on Thursday. I saw the original tweet that led to the sell-off, and I kind of thought things would chill out. You guys said he went more in. Like what? Just what? How much worse could it get?
He's just doubling down on everything, on every single position. Bitcoin's bad. Doge is good. I'm gonna make Doge faster, better, stronger, louder, whatever. It's just comical. Like, isn't he busy? Like, doesn't he have shit to do that isn't, fucking with the market?
I mean, apparently not. I mean, he's been on the Doge train for a long time now, but like he's been tweeting stupid shit too. Like he's been saying, okay, we just make Doge 10 times faster. He did. Do you know the tweet, Josh? Do you have it in your mind? Like what he said, like 10 times faster, like, and a bunch of other shit.
We're going to make the throughput 100 times faster. The transaction costs 1,000 times cheaper or something like that. It's like, why haven't we thought about this before? Of course, it was all right there all along.
Yeah, it's just like, we're going to fix crypto by doing this simple trick. It's like, oh shit. And then he just got into like fights with Bitcoiners about finance, and he kind of quoted his credentials on that front because he founded PayPal or was involved anyway. But yeah, pretty much everyone memed him for good reason because he did some stupid shit, and then he went completely off the rails, and now we're here.
Good.
Yeah. And you're right, it was weak before Elon just acted as a catalyst, sadly, to move this way quicker than I think anybody really anticipated. And I've been seeing this 30% drawdown meme chart floating around a lot over the past 12 hours. And it's true, in 2017 we had 5 or 6 30% plus retracements.
Yep.
So it's not impossible to recover here, but to me this feels like 2018. It's like there isn't enough BTC to sell, right? There's just not enough buyers, and you're thinking, my God, there's still 18 million BTC out there. It feels like that sort of situation. And even though we're at the price we're at 44K or whatever it is, it just feels real bad. I don't know. I can't explain why it feels as bad as it does, but maybe it's because it's real money being lost. And that's the other thing about those 30% drawdowns in 2017 compared to now. Those percentages notionally, nominally
tiny.
Are tiny, very tiny. And for a lot of people, this is real money being lost at this point.
What's interesting looking at this chart, that giant green candle on the left side where he broke out, it was the biggest notional candle for Bitcoin ever. That was the Elon announcement of him getting in. And even after all the nonsense and the weak month we had to end April, it's we're actually still above that. And I'm as I say that, I kind of thought it was positive. Now as I hear myself saying it, I'm like, that actually might be negative. The market might completely retrace his entrance based on anticipating he's going to sell. So if we do keep dropping, that 40,000 mark is kind of it. That was the previous all-time high. It's a weird spot, man. Bitcoin's down 30% in the supposed super cycle. My mind's telling me that's you should be looking for longs, but as I look at this, I'm not too excited to be looking for longs yet. I don't know. What do you guys need to see to get bullish on Bitcoin again?
Yeah, so for me, it's kind of the fact that we've already, that's what scares me. We're back at 44K. Elon hasn't sold, and if he sells, we're going to go below his buys. I don't think there's a way where it stops. If he sells, where we don't go below his entry. So that's a little bit scary. Depends on whether he's going to sell or not. But in general, on the long side of things, I'm just looking at weekly support. I've been talking about this 38K support for what feels like months now. I mean, it is months now, right? Basically, yeah, for like 3 months. And I think we're getting there, probably gonna get there anyway. And then we're gonna bounce. And if the bounce is strong, the bull market's back on. And if the bounce is weak, like imagine something like where it just weekly recovers, I think that's gonna be the complacency, and then we're gonna sell off completely. So I want to see basically how we react once we hit weekly support. That's why I get excited. That's why I think the longs are, no matter if you think the top's in or not, I think that's where you try to position yourself long, risk on. And I mean, if the bounce is shit, get out and don't look back. And if the bounce is strong, I mean, maybe we get to 100K this year. That'd be nice. But I want to see how it reacts to support first.
Yep. Maybe he's just stress testing Bitcoin. I don't know. Maybe this is all a stress test. Josh, what do you see?
Well, the last thing I'm going to say about Elon is it's the bipolar behavior of, in retrospect, it was inevitable type bullshit to whatever he's talking about now, where, that's for a lot of people, that's just a bit much, like, why would you go in $1 billion and then destroy your own position, Anyway, price wise, yeah. So on the daily cloud, can I share my screen? Let's see.
Yeah, you should be able to.
The daily cloud, I've been talking about this edge to edge move, and how this works is we are either bullish above the cloud, bearish below the cloud, and then in the transition phase, we have this opportunity for.
Oh, I think we can't see it, right?
Yeah, I can't see it. I'm still on Don's.
Yeah, let me just stop sharing and then you share. I think that works.
Okay.
There we go.
Yep.
Sure. Okay. All right. So this is the cloud, bullish above, bearish below. And in between there, we have a transition trade to take. That's pretty rare on the daily chart using these settings. Doesn't happen maybe once every 2 quarters. We see something like this typically. So there was a setup for this 100%. And this is what has played out thus far. We're also at the 200 period EMA for the first time since March, really. So this would be a good time to do something as a response to that. If we look at what's happened in 2017 with these, we always break above the cloud. It's not like the market's going to move away from us without some sort of trade signal being there. There's going to be something. So that's why I'm sitting mostly in cash and have been since like 50K. Because I'm not ready to ride this down below 30. Not saying it'll go down there, but I don't want to be on that bandwagon. And if it does go above the cloud again, for me, that's what I'm looking for on the daily. The setup here is easy at this point, because if we are above, we're long, and if we're below, with a reasonable spread between this red line, this Tenkan, we're 20% off the Tenkan right now. So this isn't a short trade for me. If we do break below the cloud, we basically would need a mean reversion back up to the Tenkan, which will come down anyway. But long story short, if this is a long, you'll know. And if we look at how that looked in 2017, you're looking for some sort of V bottom. And I don't think the market at this state that's going to happen. If we see some sort of announcement about an ETF or a Walmart, sure, maybe, but it's definitely a wait and see. It's not like I'm hoping this bounces here. You can't just say this is going to be 2017 without seeing continuous evidence for that. So we can see how far below this gets and still has a chance. The other thing to watch is the 20-week SMA, which historically has been ultra strong as far as telling us bull, bear, bull, all of 2017. All of 2017, we never closed below it. And where are we now? We are definitely below it. So that is very worrisome to me that we didn't support there at all. It was like we kind of ignored it. And the weekly key June is at what is that, 35? So it's a tough sell for me to buy up here. even with EMA support. What about you, Luke? What are you looking at?
Don, can you pull up that chart again that you had?
Yep.
I think, Josh, kind of going off on your point as well. Like if I compare this to 2017 drops, we would always kind of catch these flurries of negative news. That hurts Bitcoin. You know, it kind of ends the positive news cycle that we had. But what's different about this drop that you just mentioned is all those were V bottoms. And it's like, it's kind of what's different about this most recent Bitcoin top. Like whenever Bitcoin would kind of top during bull markets, or if you're looking for a macro top, it's been a blow off. And that isn't what happened for our local top right now. It's just a rollover. Like we just lost momentum. So like unless, we get some kind of capitulation, obviously I don't want that to happen, but I think it'd be great if we had like a 10K wick down and then that day closes positive. I don't know the news or the catalyst or whatever is going to cause that. So, it's hard to look for a buy signal, but if you're an investor, it's like, I don't know, 30% drops in a Bitcoin bull market, generally a good buy. Like it's almost like even if you time that wrong, let's say the bull market's completely over. You buy right now because we're down 30% and you think the bull market isn't over. I think the market has to give you some kind of relief before kind of things really start tanking. So I don't know. I'm definitely not entering a trade today. I'm just trying to get up to speed, but ideally you want to see the V bottom. And if it's not, I still think you get a complacency bounce, but I'm not really thrilled. Like as I look at this, I'm not like, oh, I need to log in and press buy. It's tough.
Yeah,
I mean, I talked with Avi from Block Tower on my podcast like a couple weeks ago, and he was like, he does not expect the market to kind of blow off top again, just based on which kind of players are in nowadays to like the past. Yeah. Now we have like institutions, we have bigger players involved, and they're not gonna be selling, or like they're not gonna be causing spikes like that and then just selling off. Yep. into like that kind of nuke. They're gonna do it slow and controlled. And he kind of called for a top in the one trillion range. So I mean that kind of played out. I'm not entirely sure if he still stands by that, but I mean he had me convinced anyway, because I mean it makes sense, right? When you have like different players in the ecosystem, the market is going to top differently. Now, I'm not entirely sure if this is the top yet, but I want to see a capitulation as well. Just makes sense to me. The longer you kind of bleed on, it makes sense to kind of get some news or whatever that capitulates it completely downwards. And I mean, if you look at the 4 hour right now, like this is accelerating, right? You can kind of clearly see how this. Let me actually do this on a clean chart. How you like have this like rounding out, and then you get one push down, and then you round out again, get another push down, and you don't really get like, usually when you get bottoms, right, what you get is like you get a sharp drop down, and then you get constructive movement out of it. And this is clearly not it, in my opinion anyway. Now it could turn into that, but right now it looks really, really shitty. So I kind of agree on that front. I want to see like a big wick to the downside, preferably into the 32 to 38K region, just because that's weekly support. And then we go from there.
Yeah, none of this looks like a buy to me, you know, just instinctually, it just feels bad. It looks bad, even though it's at an EMA. I don't want to touch it. And I don't think any of us are alone when we think of it like that. So, yeah, I'm just waiting, like you're saying, wait for some capitulation. And we're just talking about BTC here, but ETH doesn't look great either. I like 32 as well. 32 is actually the Pitchfork median line, and Ledger's not here, so I can talk about the Pitchfork. But
bring it up. I haven't even seen the ETH chart, so I'm curious to see where this thing's at.
All right, that is. If I'm gonna buy anything, it's probably that on BTC. I don't know if you guys can see that yet, but
yeah,
that's if you're gonna buy something in a range from 2019, that's your place to buy, to start buying. You know, you can say, all right, we were getting hot up here, blah blah blah, but we don't really know because ETH just kept breaking up. And I think part of that parabolic upside went into all of the scams and didn't go into anything else. It didn't go into DeFi or BTC, ETH a little bit because people needed to buy ETH to participate in that stuff. So I like 32 there, but for ETH, I don't know. ETH again, it's like I should feel good about buying 2960. Historically, Kijun bounce again, just basic mean reversion type stuff. That should be a buy. If we switch to the 4-hour, the 4-hour ETH looks just like the daily BTC cloud, where you had this edge to edge move. And at this point, again, I don't know. Do you want to buy the 200 period 4-hour? I don't know. Historically, since March, this has been an excellent buy, right? It's been a really good buy since October, whatever. But man, this market just makes me feel bad in the wrong type of way. The DeFi stuff, though, some of it has done pretty well. Like Solana is up today, right? Isn't it?
Solana trades like nothing else, man. It's almost like there's just one buyer of Solana. Wink, wink.
I mean, it does really well when the market is kind of weak, right? That's how it's historically been, like putting in the biggest moves against Bitcoin anyway, where it's like the market is weak and then Solana just goes. But that has me worried that a lot of altcoins still look good against Bitcoin, right? Historically, like Bitcoin tops way before the altcoins do. And I mean, that was the narrative why I was kind of on the defensive at 57, because we had all of these altcoins move that strongly without Bitcoin doing so. And Bitcoin looks absolutely tragic to me, and some of these altcoins don't, which supports that thesis even more. Like that we have retail trading the altcoins, gambling money away, and Bitcoin's still not getting bid. So I don't know. I mean, I hate to be negative, but I want to see some bull action before I actually get back bullish.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest takeaway from today is the market's not going to go to infinity without you. So don't be afraid to sit on the sidelines for a while. This is my non-professional, non-investment advice. Take a breather. If a drawdown from here is significant for you personally, then take some out, right? Like no one's going to hate you for not buying every dip that all these maxis on Twitter are. Every time it drops, it's like they have unlimited capital, right? They're like, buy the dip here, buy the dip here. But yeah, that's the biggest takeaway for me. This could go much, much lower still, despite dropping 30%. The comparisons to 2017, I think, are going to end rather soon because the market just looks like trash.
All right. Well, I guess the positive takeaway from that, as I think about, I mean, seriously, comparing back to that market is, altcoins actually do pretty well generally, even after Bitcoin tops. So if everything is over, I still think we'll have some fun for a couple weeks, maybe a month with altcoins. Like that's like worst case scenario is kind of how I approach it. I don't know.
Have you looked at altcoins at all yet, Luke?
Not like I've done like a scan, but it's hard to kind of get a feel for how things are trading just looking at right now. Like I have like 4 charts up. I was watching DOT, like that broke out like I thought it would. Now it's all the way back to where it broke out from. I think there's going to be a really weird narrative, and I know it's not right to think this way, but I think Elon kind of caused it, of people think that Bitcoin is dirty. So I think there's going to be kind of altcoins that jump on the back of that, like XRP, EOS, DOT, ADA, that are like, oh, we're the clean option. And I think that those actually could do well on the back of that. I'm not saying they should, but I think that will happen. So, I mean, those all look like okay. Like it looks like ADA tried to have a good day yesterday. Everything's kind of rolling over though.
I don't even think people believe that. It's just people think that other people are going to believe that, so they buy that stuff,
Exactly. That's what I mean. Like I'm not saying it's right, but I do think that's going to happen. Like XRP is up, 8% today. And I don't think maybe that would have happened without Elon doing this, but I think there's going to be some altcoins that get this weird narrative of we're the clean option. What if he picks us? Like, obviously Elon's not going to buy $1 billion worth of Ripple, but I don't know. Maybe those things rally. Like, that's the only intuition or thought I've had on altcoins is some of these things might do well because people think Bitcoin's a bad choice, as incorrect as it is.
Yeah, I mean, Aave looks fine to me. It's still sitting basically near all-time highs. You can look at SNX as well. A lot of these DeFi coins don't look half bad, honestly. They're super volatile, and you have to be aware of that you're gonna eat volatility, but you have to be willing to sit in this stuff, which is why I haven't de-risked the Enzyme DeFi stuff, because it looks okay. This stuff looks okay. Sushi, I haven't looked at it today, but it still looks fine to me. It's like, and these are the USD charts. I'm sure the BTC charts
look
even
flying.
better. Yeah. It's like nothing ever happened, really. Honestly, this is just another day for the DeFi stuff. So that's encouraging to me, that maybe this is like a self-limiting contagion to ETH and BTC. To see the fees on ETH remain low was also reassuring, that there isn't a bunch of panic going on everywhere. Fees were like sub 100. And something else to mention, if we look at transaction counts on BTC and ETH, both are not transaction counts, but active addresses are at all-time highs. I mean, we can go down the list as far as stuff that looks okay, but until price starts to pick up, it's hard on BTC specifically to want to buy any of that stuff.
Yeah. I think DeFi could be insulated a little bit just because people look at these protocols and the way that they're valuing them, I think now is, how many fees and revenue like Uniswap and SushiSwap can create, and how big that value capture still is for DeFi. Like, it might be the first time ever that we have alts that aren't just acting like a higher beta Bitcoin on the sell-off. It's like alts are kind of, now they have some fundamentals. I say that very tentatively, but it's like they have some fundamentals that can help keep them afloat. I don't know how long that lasts. Like, if Bitcoin starts capitulating, I'm sure Uni and Sushi and these charts that look good would probably sell off a little, but like, for now, it looks like they can withstand Bitcoin selling pressure pretty well, probably better than anything else.
Yeah, I don't want to say like anything looks like a buy here in particular, because if BTC and ETH keep going, all this stuff's going to just crumble. But if you want to buy support on something like Uni, where it's got this range that it's at the bottom of, that looks fine to me. I haven't looked at Maker today, but Maker's another one that has revenue and like is making money. You could say, okay, maybe this is a falling wedge. I don't know.
I mean, I think you can just focus on the stronger pair, right? Doesn't have to be the USD pair.
No,
if you want to be exposed to like altcoins, and I mean, some of them look so good that it makes sense to.
Yep.
Worst case, like if you're really bearish Bitcoin, just short your exposure away, right? Just go short a little bit of Bitcoin, long a little bit of an altcoin if you don't have a Bitcoin pair to trade off of, and there you go. I think that's like the way to play. You want to be looking at pair trades as much as you can in the crypto ecosystem, because I mean, if you're like saying, okay, I think this coin is going to outperform this one, you don't necessarily have to be like long or short the market in general.
Yep.
You can just be like long or short that specific pair, and that's, I think, the best way to play it when the market is moving like this, because everything's uncertain, and I mean, that can change quickly. Like, we can bounce really quickly too, right? We get to 38k, we put in like 5k candle to the upside, and everyone is going to be saying the bull market's back on, and I mean, it might be, right? So it's not like all doom and gloom. It's just like whenever you don't know whether it's actually like bottomed or where it's gonna go, or if it's like, for example, in Bitcoin's case right now, like the low of it was just 10% shy of the support that I was aiming for, right? So if you're looking for that kind of buy and it's just a little bit shy, why not get some risk in a coin that you like, and then just de-risk by shorting another one that you think looks weaker? In my opinion, it's the best way to go about it right now.
A lot of Paris trades. That makes sense. Yeah.
I think Stellar was actually doing okay as well against BTC.
Stellar and Ripple, man. It's going to be the clean coin narrative. The cheap, fast, clean coins.
Yeah, I don't really think it's a trade for me, but yeah, I mean, if you're being completely agnostic about it and wanting to buy strength, I don't see a problem with that.
Yeah. XLM, I mean, I saw even a couple, it was before I left on Thursday, there's a couple altcoin CEOs or founders that were already jumping on it. They were like, I saw one from Brandon Bloomer, and he said, EOS is the cheaper option. He was quote tweeting Elon. I imagine Ripple and some of these other guys, like I'd be surprised if Charles Hoskinson didn't try that with ADA and say, this is way cheap, way safer for the environment. It's staking. It's going to be curious to see how well these things do on the backside of that narrative. Even
yeah,
EOS,
I'm excited to see a staking network actually work. I don't think we've seen that yet. So maybe one of these will be the first one, but they're all just promises. Incubating.
Yeah.
Right. They're not doing anything, right? Until ETH transitions to proof of stake and it works, which I doubt it actually will. Put your money where your mouth is, coins. EOS isn't really doing anything. ADA is not really doing anything, regardless of what Chuck says. So,
do you mean on the FA side of things? Because on the TA side of things, ADA has been flying.
100%.
Yeah, I think in general it's kind of interesting that we get this narrative, this whole crypto not green narrative, because it's insanely bad news, I think, whether it's right or wrong, right? Because right now the entire world is kind of trying to turn a new leaf, go green, whatever. And if the first thing that people kind of associate with crypto as a whole is that it's dirty and that it's polluting the world and destroying the environment, I mean, that's gonna take a lot of retail away that would otherwise just jump in and try to get exposure, I think. So, I mean,
we saw this for weeks, like this dirty BTC thing.
Yeah, with the NFTs.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It was with the NFTs, but even before that, there's just this ongoing BTC is dirty narrative. And then we saw it with the NFTs, and it's like an attack from coins that aren't doing well. They're like, well, we're green. Come over here, guys. I'm Tezos, and we're green. We have green NFTs. It's guilting people into feeling bad to try to pump their token. It's just so cringe. And Bitcoin is dirty to a degree, but it's only dirty because we know it's dirty because we can measure it. We can't measure the cost to preserve the dollar or the cost of military industrial complex, right? Nobody talks about those percentages as far as the climate. It's just come on, guys, put it into perspective here.
It's just such an easy target, right? Because no one understands what the fuck they're even talking about, right? No. They're like, okay, this thing magical internet money, and then it's dirty, and that's all they need to hear, right? So I mean, I totally get why everyone's angry, because I mean, really, it's a shit narrative to be had in the crypto space. I've no idea how it's gonna end up playing out, but with Elon fueling it, I mean, I wouldn't underestimate it. Is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because I mean, that is one of the worst kind of stigmas that you can have right now.
Yeah,
it is bad. I think we could beat it. A narrative that I think is comparable is Bitcoin's only used by drug dealers, or it's this. Oh gosh.